Good morning, students. We are going to study the 11th lesson, Three Wise Old Women. It's a story about three old ladies going for a walk. Let's see what happened to them when they went for a walk. Three wise old women were they who went to walk on a winter day. So, children, it's a story about three old women going for a walk on a winter day. One carried a basket to hold some berries. One old lady, carried a basket to collect some berries. Berries are the fruits. One carried a ladder to climb for cherries. Another lady carried a ladder to climb the tree to collect some cherry fruits. The third, and she was the wisest one, the third one was very clever. She carried a fan to keep off the sun. She took a fan when it is hot just to get some breeze. But they went so far and they went so fast. They were very far, they went very far and they were walking very fast. They quite forgot their way at last. What happened? They forgot their way to come back to their houses. So one of the wise women cried in fright. What happened? One of the old lady got frightened and she said, "Suppose we should meet a bear tonight. Suppose he should eat me. Imagine that one bear is coming tonight and it's going to eat me and me and me. What is to be done?" Cried all the three. What happened? All the three of them shouted together, "What shall we do now?" "Dear, dear," said one, "we'll climb the tree. They're out of the way of the bear will be. So shall we climb up a tree?" When all women said that, "We'll climb on a tree so that the bear will go away. We can hide and sit on the tree." But there wasn't a tree for miles around. Were there trees? No, there were not trees around them, so they could not climb anywhere. They were too frightened to stay on the ground. They are frightened to stand there now. So they climbed their ladder up to the top. What did they do? They kept their ladder and three of them climbed on the ladder and sat there screaming, "We'll drop, we'll drop." But the wind was strong as wind could be. What happened? These three ladies, they were climbed up the ladder and they were sitting, but they were frightened. They were thinking that they may fall down. They were sitting and shivering there and saying that we'll drop, we may fall, we'll fall. But the wind was very strong and blew their ladder right out to sea. What happened? The wind was very strong and the ladder fell in the sea. So the three wise women were all afloat. What happened now? Where are they? They are in the sea, floating in the water. In a leaky ladder instead of a boat. They are trying to make their ladder as a boat and they were trying to sit on the ladder. And every time the waves rolled in, of course, the poor things were wet to the skin. Each time when the waves comes, they are all wet. They are getting fully wet. Then they took their basket, the water lake. They put up their fan instead of a sail. So they were trying to keep their basket and sit on the basket and using their fan as a sail. But they could not. Because imagine in the sea with a small fan and small basket, what can they do? Can they make a boat there? No, they cannot. So, but what became of the wise women then? So what happened to the three of them? Whether they were sailed home again? Did they come back to their home from the sea? Whether they saw any bears or not? Did they find any bear? Bear came to catch them or not? We don't know. You must find out, for I don't know. The poet is telling, we don't know what happened to those three ladies. Even I don't know. If you can find out. Who is telling? The poet is telling. Poet is asking you children to find out what happened for those three old women. Did they come back home or they died in the water? We don't know exactly what happened at the end of the poem. Okay? Now I will recite the poem for you. Please take the textbook and follow the poem. Three wise old women were they, who went to walk on a winter day. One carried a basket to hold some berries. One carried a ladder to climb for cherries. The third, and she was the wisest one, carried a fan to keep off the sun. But they went so far and they went so fast, they quite forgot their way at last. So one of the wise women cried in fright, "Suppose we should meet a bear tonight? Suppose he should eat me and me and me?" "What is to be done?" cried all the three. "Dear, dear," said one, "we'll climb a tree. They're out for the way of the bears will be." But there wasn't a tree for miles around. They were too frightened to stay on the ground. So they climbed their ladder up to the top and sat there screaming, "We'll drop, we'll drop." But the wind was strong and as wind could be, and blew their ladder right out to sea. So the three wise women were all afloat in a leaky ladder instead of a boat. And every time the waves rolled in, of course the poor things were wet to the skin. Then they took their basket, the water to the lake. They put up their fan instead of a sail. But what became of the wise women then? Whether they were sailed home again, whether they saw any bears or no, you must find out, for I don't know.